Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Boboleros podcast. I'm Margaret, and this is episode 36. And this is a podcast primarily about knitting, but also inspiration from the worlds of classical music, fine arts, and other random drippings from the brain pan that often do occur. So, goodness gracious, welcome. I can't believe this is episode 36. And this is such a special one because this is the 1 year anniversary episode. What? I cannot believe it's been 1 year, and it's been such a tremendous year thanks to you all. So I have some special things planned for this episode. So first we are going to announce our giveaway winner. And just to refresh your memory, it was going to be enough yarn to knit the Barbie bubble wrap. And this is my design, and it uses Boboleros yarn, and it's a project that is held double, the Rita bulky with the Vivian brushed mohair and DK, so it makes it very luscious and just buttery, soft, and glamorous, and casual too, if you want to just pop it over jeans or something, really sporty. So very versatile knit. So we're going to just announce the giveaway winner for that. We're also going to do our Rhinebeck Cakepalooza Roundup. I'll tell you about the experience there, and also show you a little bit of my haul from there, as well as some finished objects, which I'm wearing, yes, finally, and some new cast-ons. So let's get into it. So first off, let's do the giveaway. So what I did was I went into my random number generator on my phone, which I'm using right now to record, so I can't show you. But in any case, I generated a number. I went into the comments, because to win, you had to just leave a comment to the question, what movie was a big fashion influence for you? And I got so many interesting responses. I really loved it. From Annie Hall to Marilyn Monroe, old Hollywood stars, and Meg Ryan from When Harry Met Sally. Just like really some fantastic and thought-provoking responses. So the winner is Corinne Thomas 6791. Yes. Okay. So congratulations, Corinne. All you have to do is get in touch with me and let me know which color you'd prefer. So that kit is going to contain all the yarn you need for this project, which is 4 skeins of the Rita bulky and 1 of the Vivian mohair. Let me know if you prefer this color, which is called Audrey's Coat, this color, which is called Tiffany blue, or this color, which is a very beautiful sort of neutral grayish white bone alabaster color, and this is called Trench Coat. Okay, so these colors are all part of my Breakfast at Tiffany's collection. And I was inspired by the elegance, New York City vibes, 1960s for that collection. And so the Barbie bubble wrap, 1 color version, was inspired by this one that I knit, was inspired by the coat that Audrey wears in the movie, this iconic orange coat. And so all the colors are in some way inspired by the movie, inspired by the fashion, inspired by the whole sort of elegance of that film. So this collection is currently, I have it on the website in its entirety. And I went a little overboard because I just thought I want to dive deep into my love of this movie and pay homage to all the feels that it gave me over the years. And anyway, what I want to say is it's 10% off until Sunday, October 29th. So if you go to boboleros.com, go into the shop, and all you have to do is type in the code Happy Anniversary, and you'll get 10% off to celebrate the anniversary. You know, I remember when I was single, and I would, you know, I was living in New York City, and if I had a date, like, it was a ritual to get ready for a date, because usually the dates would be like going to a nice restaurant or going to the theater or going to the opera. It was really a beautiful time. I really loved my single life in the city. I'm not gonna lie, it was really, really fun in those days. It was in the 90s, so it was good times, good times. Yeah, so anyway, I remember if I would have a date, I would start preparing for that date probably like at 4 p.m. I would finish, you know, if I was at school, I would finish school. If I was working, I'd finish my work, whatever. I'd get home, and it was like a whole ritual, like, and I would get it like in the vibe of it. I would get inspired. I'd always put on a movie, like an old Hollywood movie, to get myself into the mindset of preparing for a glamorous night out. I don't know. I am like such a retro person. People have often told me I live in the wrong century, which is probably true. Probably true. But in any case, Breakfast at Tiffany's, Sabrina with Audrey, those were my go-to movies, and I'd have them on all the time. Like in the background as I was like curling my hair with hot rollers, or putting on the makeup, ironing my dress. I don't know. It just was, I really loved the ritual of that. I'm happy to say that my daughter Maia has gotten that bug. I guess happy in the sense that because I really enjoyed all the, I would say, the beauty regimen of it all. I enjoyed the preparation and the thinking and the creating a magical moment. Even if the date wasn't magical, which it often was not. It wasn't about the date. It was about the mystique of what is to be. What is that night going to look like? And even though, of course, you know, once you're married or, you know, you're in a relationship and stuff, you're not dating per se anymore, but of course you have date nights and things to look forward to. But I still think that getting dressed up is just so much fun. And even if it's getting dressed up for the day, it's just a way to express creativity. So anyway, that's the Breakfast at Tiffany's collection. And there's a lot of accessories to that collection. There are clutches, handbags, totes, earrings, candles, scrumptious, 3 different flavors of candles. It's like, what else do I have on that? I had lipstick lighters that I might have 1 or 2 left that were so fabulous. You know, just a lot of just fun little goodies. So that being said, let's move on and let's talk about Rhinebeck weekend, Cakepalooza. There's so much going on in the world, which, you know, we hold all the people that are suffering right now in the world in our hearts and lift them up. And I'm just so grateful that we can have this community to kind of, I think at some point, the wears and tears of reality in the world, you know, just get us to a point, and we sometimes just need a break. And I hope this could offer just a little bit of a break. Not to say that we're not cognizant or sending out our, you know, hearts and empathy and openness, because we're all connected after all. When one suffers, we all suffer. But just to offer this as a little bit of an oasis away from the troubles of the world. So I was so excited about Cakepalooza. I cannot even tell you, because it's been going on for 3 years. Alyssa, beautiful Alyssa from Cake Wool, is running the event, and the event is held it's just in Saugerties, New York. It's just just a beautiful location. It's in the parking lot of the studio where she dyes and her husband works. And it couldn't be a more heartfelt, joyous, harmonious gathering. It is such a high, beautiful energy there. And for the past 2 years, when I attended as what do you call it? Like a customer, I guess, or I don't know what, like not as a vendor. I just thought, oh gosh, it's just so lovely. I love the vibe of it. And to actually go as a vendor and to have my own yarn brands and like this whole thing, like even a year ago, was just inconceivable to me. But yeah, I did dream it and it happened. And so anyway, I'm so grateful to everybody, Alyssa, who organized it, all the vendors that couldn't have been nicer and kinder. Being the new kid on the block, I didn't have a lot of know-how, like how do you set up, how do you make, a booth. I didn't have any of that training. In high school, I worked in retail, and I've always been on some level involved in marketing, because let's face it, when you're a classical musician, you have to be very creative these days in how to be heard. And so I've always been involved in those things. And anyway, to like get help from people, like physically, how do you make a storefront booth? How do you do this? I'm grateful to Victoria from Vita Lifestyles, who really showed me the ropes. She allowed me to help her in New Jersey Sheep and Wool, and I was able to kind of learn the basics. How do you set up a booth? So that being said, we did a lot of prep, my husband Mark and I, to like have this envisioned. And so since July, I had been accumulating things, like imagining like, how does this booth look like? And so I got some things that I thought would be cute with the theme of the retro. So like one of the things we had were these vintage suitcases from the 60s in this really great light blue color. And we put the yarn, some of the like the Breakfast at Tiffany collection yarns in there to showcase them on these luggage racks. That was pretty fun to just get the stuff to like connect the dots. I wasn't sure how I would display more of the yarn, so I had this pegboard situation. It was kind of like I'm going to put it, if I could put pictures in, you'll see it. And so it was like a folding screen with pegboard in it. So that worked out really well. The thing was, it was raining on Friday. And that was made of wood. So like it did sort of seep water from underneath. It didn't damage the yarn, but it sort of like did get the whole wood wet from that thing. So that was a little bit of a like, oh, wow, didn't think of that. I have to say I did something so silly, but it was in the spirit of like, I had an idea of how I wanted the booth to look, and it had, one of the things I really wanted was to have like a dove gray carpeting. So I bought 2 area rugs in dove gray, and although it was raining, and although Mark told me, you know what, it's not a good idea to put rugs down, it's wet, I said, no, it's gonna dry out. Look it, the sun's coming out already. It's going to be fine. It's going to be dry. Well, the sun did not really come out, and it did continuously rain on Friday. The rugs went down and they got sopping wet. So for all the people that were so kindly coming over and saying hello in the booth, I apologize for like the squishy, like every time there was a step, you could hear like the water from the seeping wet carpet, coming out. So I thank you all for your patience. But it was such a fabulous, fabulous time. Despite the rain, everybody had their game energy on. Everybody was like so elated to be there. Everyone, I mean, and all the people that were waiting online so patiently, like everybody had such a great energy. It was amazing. And I'm so grateful to everyone who stopped by, people that we know each other just from online. I was so happy to finally connect the person, the face with the name, people that we know each other, like, oh my gosh, to see you, and new people that came by and we could meet. I was just like, that's always the best part. It's always about the people. So, yeah, it was just a fabulous, fabulous time. And what else can I say? Well, a little bit of yarn purchases were made. I do have them in this basket. Another highlight, excuse me, for me was when 12 o'clock came and the idea that Leslie, friend, and Gina from Skin Cocaine would be visiting the booth. So you guys must know them. And if you're not familiar with their podcast, they are so fabulous, so incredible. And I highly recommend that you check out their podcasts. And anyway, so Leslie and Gina were going to make a surprise appearance, or not so surprising, because I just was like telegraphing it to the world, like, hey, Leslie Brent's gonna be here, Leslie Brent's coming. Yeah. It was like Santa Claus is coming when you're 8 years old. It's like, Santa, Santa. And it was like Christmas. Can I just tell you? It was. Okay, so Leslie comes and she's just like everything and more. I am such a Leslie groupie and fan. And now after meeting her, it's like 100-fold more. I think my husband Mark summarized it when, like, she was so dazzling when she appeared at the booth, beaming, so beautiful, smiling, overjoyed. Like, the energy was just like off the roofs. Because, you know, sometimes you don't know, like, you see somebody online and then you don't know, like, you know, in real life, it's always sort of different. I'm always surprised, like, in the music, in the classical music world, sometimes you meet people that you have an image of them from hearing them and seeing them perform. And then when you actually like meet them, the personality is sometimes a lot different than like what you see from a certain perspective. But with Leslie, it was like everything and more. She's so much fun. She's so like filled with like laughter, and we were right away like high school like kids, like giggling and acting goofy. And it was just like one of those vibes that we were like, wait, have we always known each other? Have we been like soul sisters this whole time? Except, you know, now finally we meet. Anyway, it was just one of those miraculous experiences. And I'm sure you can relate to when you meet somebody and you just click and then you have so much in common. And anyway, that was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. So my husband, Mark, says, Leslie, you're a rock star. And I think that was just the summary. It was like, oh my gosh, electric. So Leslie had her fancy sweater on, which is a sweater I'm wearing. So her version was the striped version. I made one using Leslie's modifications with the stripes. So she had hers on. It was in, I believe it was Peanut from Lamb and Kid, Big Birdie. Peanut was the main color and the stripes were the black, I think Blackbird. And it was so chic because she had a trench coat on and she had that kind of like wrapped over her shoulders. I think it was black jeans, like really cool black, not combat boots, but ish, you know, like really cool boots and a cool belt, like just so put together. Looks so fine. And she right away put on her Barbie bubble wrap, which she made in black with like the white one with the black, and then she made a second one in just the black, and it just looks so fabulous. I'm gonna try to insert pictures here. Anyway, so it was just like so great. So then at some point we sneaked, Gina, Leslie, and I, we just sneaked back and we were just like going to all the booths because, you know, they had spotted some things. And so they were letting me know like, oh my gosh, we have to go to this booth. We have to see this, blah, blah, blah. So we started to like make the rounds and stuff. And then I just want to show you some of the things. So we got to the Forever Yarn Doylestown booth. And, you know, like, I just was so... Do you remember Mike Myers when he was doing Saturday Night Live way back in the day? And he would, I forgot, the coffee talk. Remember coffee talk? And he would go, I'm so verklempt. Anyway, I was so verklempt when I went in the back and I saw the Forever Yarn booth, because I'm verklempt because that was one of the first episodes that I did a year ago, was when Yen graciously allowed me to come to the shop and interview her and have her show us the shop. And it was so great. And it was actually, then Leslie told me that was the episode that I first watched. And I was like, I really, enjoyed it. And so that's how we connected, was through that. So I said, you know what, full circle, and so it was just so great. So we went over to the Forever Yarn booth, and there was so Yen was wearing this great sweater, and she told us it was the Dartmoor by Kadri. Very simple sweater. And so we then decided, all three of us, Gina, Skin Cocaine, Leslie Friend, and I, we decided let's all make the same sweater. So we all got our yarns. All of us got different yarn, but different colors, but it was all pretty much the same basis. So this is the one I got. This is the l'Habit-Animé Wesley, and it's worsted weight, and it's a Falkland Corriedale, which I've never knit with this particular type of yarn. And right now I am going through like a heavy teal phase. I don't know. It's like, this is the color that is really attracting me right now. I just thought it was just so cool. So yeah, this Dartmoor sweater looks very versatile. I don't know if I'm going to make it like simple, keep it simple, or do some, you know, jazz, you know, like razzmatazz, because I don't know what I'm going to do. But look, I then got this to hold this with. So, oh my God, can you believe this green? Is this green not everything? So this is the, again, l'Habit-Animé mohair silk. This color is called Lush. So the thought was to hold this, you know, Lush. I'll try to grab just one strand of it so you could see. By the way, do you guys like this like new set? Let me know in the comments. I'm experimenting. I'm trying to like do something, but if you don't like it, let me know. If you like the piano set more, let me know, because you know, I'm just like playing around with different options. I like the piano set a lot because I could play piano, if you guys like that. But I just thought I'd try something a little bit more subdued today, at least for the anniversary episode, something a little different. Because I love this couch color. It's like a little settee. So I don't know if I just got it. And I really have no space in my house for it. I just like the idea of sitting on an olive green kind of bench. I'm so lame. Anyway, so check this out. These two together. I think they're cool. They vibrate. They vibrate. So that is a cast on I am looking forward to. I hope I can cast on soon. I just cast off this sweater. I'm going to tell you about that soon. But anyways, this was part of my haul. And oh my God, this green. So Maia, she wanted to knit. She couldn't go this year, my daughter Maia. She couldn't go this year to Rhinebeck. She had something called exams. And I was like, so? I was like, this is Rhinebeck weekend, hon. But no, school won. I'm not a great influence. So anyway, Maia, she is going to be casting on for a cardigan. By the way, there was a gal, I think her name was Anna. She was so spectacular. By the way, I just want to shout out to all the like fabulous gals that like stopped by my booth. Pat from California, Charlene, I so loved meeting you and your friends. There were so many people that just like were the coolest. And sometimes I would just like stop people and like really, I mean, it was almost on a stalkerish level. There was this great gal who owns, one of the owners of Yarnia, which is a store in Montclair, New Jersey, quite close to me. She had on such a fantastic colorwork sweater. I'll try to insert the picture here. And she was one of the people that I just literally like threw myself on, and I was like, tell me everything about this sweater. Yeah, just like so many awesome people. And I'm having like a brain moment, like a brain fart moment where I just cannot even name all the names, and the images of the people are going through my head. So you know who you are, and forgive me for having like a moment of like drawing blanks. I'm still recovering from preparation for Cakepalooza because it was a 3-month thing, and the final week was such a marathon. I don't think I've ever done anything like as challenging in my life. yeah, my debut concert at Carnegie Hall was very challenging. I would say only that would be on the same level of the preparation for this show. I don't know. It just really, it was consuming me for 3 months. So anyway, Maia is making a cardigan. And the reason I bring this up is because one of the ladies that walked by, I just had to stop her. She has such a cool outfit on. I believe it's Anna. And oh gosh, the cardigan she had, gorgeous color. It was like, again, kind of like the color of this seat. Maybe this is why subconsciously I saw this and I was like, I gotta have it. Because I stopped her. I was like, tell me everything about your cardigan. And it was from My Favorite Things. I think it was number 6. And it had like beautiful eyelets. And she said she made it out of Chelsea yarn, twig colorway. In mohair, 3 strands held together, and it reminded me of like something from the 40s. It was just that color, the timeless design, and the way she wore it. I mean, it was styled. It was so gorgeous. Anyway, so I said, Maia, maybe that one you want to make. So I think Maia's going to make not that one, but I think My Favorite Things number 7 cardigan, which doesn't have the eyelets. And she just ordered very similar color from Lamb & Kid in Big Birdie, Jolly Green, which I have in Birdie. I got that a few years ago to make the big fluff shawl. And I love that green. So anyway, it was funny. We were both like thinking of the same green. Okay, so that was some of it. I got Maia a great sock set. She had been pining, like asking like for so long, Mom, can you find out about the frozen hot chocolate sock set from fashion school dropout Kelly. Hey Kelly, you're so awesome. So anyway, I did get that for Maia. Thank you, Kelly, for doing that for her. And she just absolutely is thrilled with it. I would show it to you, but she grabbed it and ran. She just grabbed it when she came home for like 5 minutes. I think she just drove, like not even to see us or anything. Hi, Mom and Dad, I came to see you now. She came for the yarn. She's like, where's my yarn? I was like, okay, I get it. So then Leslie got one of these bags from Button Jar Studio. Isn't this just so cute? So yeah, adorable little lammy bag, and just so cute. And so Leslie got one and she's like, don't you think this is like cute as a purse? I said 150%. And so I was lucky to get the last one. So excited to be twinning. And that was pretty much it for my Cakepalooza haul. It was, I wish I could have browsed more, but it was, it just was so exciting just to talk to people, and I didn't really have much time, but it was just awesome. And just a shout out to Alyssa. I don't know how anybody could do such a thing as take on this massive responsibility of presenting a event on this level, because you have so many things to look after. And so as well as you do all your homework, and I only say this because I have somebody in my family, actually my brother-in-law, who is responsible for putting together Super Bowls for the NFL. And the amount of detail work it takes to put on a large scale production, presentation, event, there's so many details that, there's like so much you could do to prepare. And then there's always things that are just like beyond your control. So like, for instance, on Friday, the weather was beyond anybody's control. another thing that happened that I just was like amazed at, how beautifully Alyssa just handled everything. There was a situation where, like one of these things happened. Suddenly the town decides to do road work right there. And like there was the possibility that it would just screw up all the parking and screw up the, like access, because like it's beyond anybody's control. It's the town. But Alyssa went in, like she handled the situation with such grace, and it all worked out beautifully. And I just was so amazed. I said, Alyssa, your skills in diplomacy and like managing just with so much grace and kindness, no anger, no like frustration, just like the most incredible grace under pressure. And it was such a lesson to me. And like you can get, what's that saying, you can get more bees with honey than with vinegar. Is that it? I don't even know what the saying is, but it was so beautiful. And I just, hats off. Anybody who puts together a big event is going into very, very deep waters of like detail work and managing, and also accounting for those things that just you cannot even predict. I also have to say, there was just like so much kindness shown. She had like a refrigerator full of like beverages for all the vendors, and like bagels, and things like this. It was just so much hospitality and kindness shown. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So the event ended. We came in 2 cars, Mark and I. So by the time we packed the cars and like got everything ready, I had like a massive migraine. It just was like a lot, and so even though I was like, oh my gosh, it's 6 o'clock, I still had another, I would say, like I quickly looked at my GPS, car loaded, I'm wet, like completely drenched, but I said, let's see how long it takes to get to Wollenfolk, because I had a ticket, and I thought, could I maybe catch the tail end of it? And I saw on my GPS, it said I had a half an hour to get there. What I didn't realize was it was a half an hour going the opposite direction than I need to go from my house. So that's okay. I was like, I have to go. So I got there. I wasted so much time. My GPS did not recognize like where my location needed to be, so I couldn't figure out where to park. That was my GPS issue. But anyway, I was able to step in honestly, I think I had 15 minutes, if even that. Like it was 7:45. No, 6:45, because they were closing at 7. Anyway, I went in, and I didn't get to see much at all because my time was so limited, and I wanted to say hello to Jackie Rose, and she was at the Lamb and Kid booth. So got a chance to see beautiful Jackie and give her a hug. I saw Ashley from Lamb and Kid, beautiful Ashley, and bought more yarn, because that's what you do. So let me show you what I got at Lamb and Kid. So again, this teal, dark green, evergreen moment, again, it's like a real thing now. And so this is Scout in Big Birdie. And I don't know what I'm going to knit with it. I might do another one of these. I am not really sure, but I'm excited to knit with it. So I have really enjoyed the sweater I knit with Big Birdie. It's the fancy sweater. So I think I'll make another one of those. Maybe I'll modify. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. But I got 3 skeins of this, and so I can't wait to cast on something really exciting with it. Speaking of Lamb and Kid, I also, when they were doing the update for the cinch shrug, I decided to buy some. So I got Blackbird and Peanut, which incidentally are the same colors that Leslie used for her fancy sweater with stripes. So an absolutely beautiful, elegant combo. So I'm set. I'm set with the yarn. And yeah, so that was it. I then drove home and I did not catch any of the Rhinebeck Festival. Sadly, I wasn't able to this year, but hopefully next year. But the Friday was one for the books. It was so awesome. So let's talk about finished objects, which is the sweater I am wearing. And this is the Fancy Sweater by Lemon Kid. And it's, I think, a free pattern. Maybe not, I don't remember. But this is the second one I've made. And this one I did using my yarn, which is Boboleros. And I did this holding double, one skein of the Hetty boucle and one skein of the Betty alpaca, which is a fingering weight. It's a Surrey alpaca. And for the yellow part, this is the Vivian brushed mohair, held single. So I love the Fancy Sweater. I cannot say enough about this pattern. It's such a straightforward, very customizable sweater. I think modifications that I made were here, the collar. I didn't have the right size needle that the pattern was asking for, so I sized up in my needle and used a 10, and I did a folded over kind of collar. And I'm not very like fussy when it comes to, you know, like the sewing of, you know, when you fold it over and you have to sew it to the main. I'm not that fussy with it. Like, I don't do it technically the way you're supposed to do it. I just, you know, like maybe like single crochet it in just to, like, you know, make sure that it doesn't unfold. But that's actually one of the features that I really like about the way this one turned out, was the wider funnel. I really liked it. So, yeah. So I think it was the same amount of stitches. I might have changed. In any case, when I put this on my Ravelry page, I'll go back to my notes and figure out exactly how many I cast on, because I'd like to make another sweater with this same kind of neckline, because you know, when it's too close, I don't know if I prefer it now as much as I prefer a little bit wider, like for myself. So that's what I did. And I started it off thinking I'll just do stripes, like uniform stripes with the yellow. And then I did one uniform stripe, and I was thinking, you know, no, let's just keep going with the one bigger stripe. And that's, you know, the joy of being spontaneous in the moment and seeing how the yarn is working, and also just seeing how you feel. And like, it's a dialogue in real time when we knit, you know. And sometimes, you know, it's okay to go off pattern. I was always so to the letter when it came to patterns. I wanted to make it exactly like the pattern said. And if I would deviate by accident, I would always rip back, because there was something like, I think it was a little bit of a perfectionism rather than going for the finished garment. It was like I obeyed every single aspect of the pattern. But a lot of times, again, the magic happens when you know, get an idea and you go off grid and you do it your way. I did it my way. Yeah. So that's it. And then I followed the sleeves exactly as written. And I think, yeah, you know, I finally got the bind off well. And again, I do this trick that I learned from Jackie Rose, which was go to a larger needle when you're binding off, so it's going to fit you. And so I'm really, really happy with this fabric. This is a color I don't have anymore. This was from the Barbie collection. This is called Glitter Beach, and the yellow was called Sunshine, and the alpaca was a very light pink, called Perfume Pretty. And yeah, anyway, absolutely adore this sweater. One thing that I learned was that the way that the alpaca, being lighter, toned down the brightness of the glitter beach, the boucle, was amazing, because the glitter beach was definitely more pronounced hot pink, but when that alpaca comes over it, it makes it more mysterious. It came out into this like creamy light pink, a powdery creamy pink, which I absolutely love. So I had a hard time finishing this sweater because I cast it on in the summertime where I felt like really in sync with these colors, and then September hit and I was no longer feeling these colors. Like I was feeling more like the autumnal colors, like that Scout that I was just showing you, or like this, you know? So, you know, I'm glad that I pushed through and finished it, because it is, I tell you, the fabric is so light and it's just the right amount of warmth. It's one of those sweaters that is going to absolutely work with your body temperature and be warm when you want it warm and cool you down when you need it to be cool. So highly recommended knit. And because I have a lot of boucle options in different speckled yarns right now on sale on Boboleros.com at 10% off, I'll just show you a couple of options that I thought would be marvelous. And there'll be kits available on the site if you'd like to take advantage of the sale. So here is a colorway called Moon River. It's got all the gorgeous purple, magentas, a little bit of teal. And so you hold this with one skein of the Betty alpaca. You just need one for the entire project. I got away with 2 of the boucle. I think to be safe, 3 is probably the right number, but I, made it work with 2. I don't know why. I think because I made this so wide. I'm not really sure. But let me show you what I think would be so good with this is claret, like for this middle. This is claret and a brushed mohair. And it really picks up on this moment right there. So one option. Another option I'd like to show you is this one, which is Signature Breakfast at Tiffany's. This one was really popular at Rhinebeck. I just have a few more left. This one, again, it's like kind of like a similar vibe, but definitely not as, like in your face pink, and with Tiffany blue for the mohair middle. I think that would be just a gorgeous one. It's a very quick knit. Because it took me so long to finish was not because it's a long knit, it's just because I kind of was unmotivated with the color choice. But yeah, I think that's really a nice one. And then another possibility is this one, Date with Jose. So Date with Jose. That's like when Holly Golightly gets on that gorgeous hot pink dress with the sequins, and she goes out with Jose de Silva Pereira. So it's a, exciting, like kind of sparky color. And I think that really looks good, like toned down with this, which is Varjac Paul for the mohair middle. I think that's so cool. So yeah, some possibilities for that. So I think that's about it. I wanted also to let you know my latest obsession, which will be coming soon, is, okay, so I've gotten in some of the Ikat bags. This one is sold out, but I'm getting more into the shop. And they're like designed in Sweden and made in Turkey. And they're just like So last week, someone messaged me, do you still have that one clutch with the blue tassel? And I said, I don't think so. I didn't. I said, but I have this one and I photographed it. And then I kept looking at this picture and I was like, holy cow, this would make an amazing shrug. So the idea coming up, I'm just like telling you now this, because this is going to be so much fun. And I'm already started with it. I cannot wait to wear this, especially with the holidays coming up. And you just don't want to like necessarily buy another outfit. So you just like do it with the accessories, one and done. So you have a clutch, right? Like for, whatever, the Christmas party, for the, holiday gathering, for, the dinner out, for whatever. And like, this is a kit. And get this, it's all the colors that are in the bag, okay? I'm already working on a shrug. It's a new design. It's more of a wrap. So it's like a takeoff on the bubble wrap, but it's not bubbles. It's not bubble. I'm telling you right now, it's not bubbles. It's something else. But all the colors, like I didn't even realize I had all the colors, but it's funny because color is such a subconscious thing. Like we don't even realize how much we're affected by it, or like how we're drawn to similar things and making it. So yeah, I want to show you this new color because again, the green, this is called Seduction, and it's not reading exactly. Let me show you on the read up. Sorry for the crinkle. Seduction, so cool. Seduction green, and it's like in the bag in the clutch, that green. Seduction. Yeah. So I just was thinking, like, I have a lot of black in my wardrobe, a lot, like whether it's like a black dress or black trousers or like black top. So like one of the things that I want to do is go to the opera. It's my mom's birthday coming up in 2 weeks, and that's what we do. We go to the opera. So this will be my outfit. Whatever black thing I have, dress or trousers and top, whatever, but clutch and matching wrap and done. One and done. One and done. It's all about the accessories. So that's the idea. I'll let you know about that outing. And that's it. I really wanted to go to the ballet, but I think it's finished. And all the moments that I could have gone, I was just like so busy preparing for Cakepalooza that I couldn't go. But I'm going to check the calendar because they're doing like the New York City Ballet has a 75-year Balanchine retrospective coming up. Or happening now or just finished, like right now. So I'll see if there's any way to still see that. And that's it. So anyway, it's been wonderful to spend this time with you. Thank you for joining, and happy knitting, and I'll see you really soon. Bye.